I spent almost half a decade training and studying calisthenics to learn the information that I'm about to break down for you so that you don't have to. And this one mistake is the reason why so many people make such good progress when they first start training or a new skill, and then suddenly after a couple weeks they see little to no progress and they get stuck in this plateau. So in this video I'm going to explain to you guys why exactly this happens, and more importantly how you can fix it so that you can get back on track and start working towards your calisthenics goals. So when you first start calisthenics, the strength gain that you actually experience at the start isn't from building muscle. It's actually from something that we call neural adaptation. In simple terms, what this is basically your central nervous system learning how to use the correct neural pathways to really recruit the muscle fibers more efficiently. Because at the beginning, your brain isn't actually very good at coordinating the correct muscles needed for a correct movement pattern. So in calisthenics, this would be a specific skill. But as you start to really repeat the same skill over and over again, now your brain is learning how to properly refine and use the correct neural pathways. And because of this, now your muscles start to work together more efficiently. So what this does is now you're able to produce more force in this movement pattern, more force in this skill. And that's why you suddenly feel stronger, even though your muscles technically haven't actually changed that much. And this happens especially fast at the beginning stages. And that's why we have something called newbie gains, which is seen across every sport. So let's take the handstand for example as a skill. When you first start to kick up for the handstand, you almost immediately fall over. And this is normal because your body hasn't been exposed to this movement pattern yet, so it's not used to it. It's not efficient at coordinating your muscles to be able to balance your body in an upside down position. But as you keep practicing, as you keep going into your handstand, now you force your body to learn. You force your central nervous system to be able to adapt and coordinate and recruit all the correct muscle fibers through neural pathways to then be able to ultimately balance yourself in this handstand. So even though your muscles actually haven't changed that much, your ability to perform the handstand has rapidly increased, and that's the process of neural adaptation. Now this is where things start to get interesting, because if you keep pushing hard and hard every single session like you have been for the first couple weeks of learning a new skill or movement, you then start to enter what we call systemic fatigue. And this is when your central nervous system is now tired, even though your muscles might still feel fine. So this is why you experience, especially with skills such as the handstand, one day you have it fully unlocked, like you can hold it, you're super comfortable, and then you try to do the same thing the next day and you can't. You just fully can't. You don't understand why, because you feel the same physically. And it all comes down to this systemic fatigue, the fact that your central nervous system is still tired. Whilst on the other side, there's just a little bit of knowledge for you guys. Now, if your muscles are sore, we call this local fatigue. So in calisthenics, you need to worry both about systemic fatigue, so everything to do with your central nervous system, and then local fatigue. So this is to do with you physically and your muscles. So in terms of timeline, how this works is that in the first 4 weeks of you training for a new stimulus, this whole process of neural adaptation is actually really fast. That's why you actually see good progress. But after this period, if you keep pushing at the same intensity as you have been for the first 4 weeks, without actually managing and paying more attention to your recovery, you now accumulate fatigue faster than your body can now recover from. And this is when everybody is making the same mistake and why everybody hits the plateau after a couple weeks of training and is trying to keep doing the same thing of pushing harder and harder because it worked at the beginning stages. But you need to realize that after a couple weeks or even a couple months, your body has now adapted to this stimulus. So if you keep pushing at a maximal intensity, now you start to build this systemic fatigue. Your nervous system just gets way too tired and can't keep this up. And because most people don't actually know how to manage this, they think that they're doing something wrong and then end up trying to push even harder, do even more trainings because they don't see this progress anymore, and then end up hitting a huge plateau. And to be able to fix this, it doesn't actually come overnight. It's a process that takes time to be able to learn about your body and how it responds to training. So let me start talking about how you can actually fix this. So instead of always going through the motions of every workout just for the sake of doing the workout, you now need to pay attention to how your body is feeling every single session. Think of a workout as an opportunity to collect data about yourself. Collect data about how your body feels and how it's reacting to each training. And once you start to do this, you'll actually realize that in general, you'll have 3 types of days when you train. And the first day being your high energy days. So these are the days where you're feeling strong, you feel fresh and focused. And this is because you've now recovered well on a muscular as well as neural level. So what you should be doing on days like this is making the most of it. So training at high intensities, reaching for those next progressions, so attempting and applying all the raw strength that you've been building across all your trainings and now putting it to good use. And now your second type of day is those heavy days. So the days that you feel heavy, you feel slower, less focused, even though you actually feel physically fine. And this is because your body is undergoing systemic fatigue. And on days like this, you now want to be focusing on reducing your intensity to maybe 50 to 60%. Because the goal on these days is not to push your body to the limit. There's no point in doing so. It's to focus on building volume, building technique, without actually burning out your central nervous system. So it's able to recover, so then you can go back in that state of a high energy day. And now your last type of day, this is gonna be your rest day. And this is when everything feels off. You fully just can't do any skill that you've been trying. And this is because now you're in a muscular, so local fatigue, as well as systemic fatigue. So the smartest thing to do here is to just rest, because not listening to the sign that your body is giving you, you're gonna lead yourself to the plateau or even injuries. So these are basically the 3 types of days that you will be undergoing in general when you really start to analyze how your body feels throughout every single workout. And if you actually want to know how to implement these days, so how to structure your week, how to structure your workouts to properly train with a system that works, then I've actually made a video talking about exactly this that I'll link right up here. So once you understand the idea that calisthenics isn't actually always about pushing yourself to the limits every single day, but it's actually about listening to your body and taking these signals and adapting your training sessions according to the signals, then that's when you're gonna start seeing good progress in your calisthenics journey. And this is something I've actually been able to help one of my clients with, who's been stuck for months doing the same mistake of pushing harder and harder with this no pain, no gain mentality. So we spent the time to analyze these signals that his body was giving and then adapting his training according to that. With no surprise, within just a week of working together, he was able to achieve his first full front lever. And this all came down to listening to his body instead of always going with this no pain, no gain mentality. So my final message to you watching is that calisthenics isn't always about training harder. It's about managing to train smarter, learning how to listen to your body, manage recovery and fatigue, and adapting your trainings to stay consistent with your journey. Because calisthenics isn't a sport that you can rush. You need to be able to build the consistency, because that's when progress happens. Thank you so much for watching up till this point, and I really hope you're able to take something valuable away from this video that helps you on your calisthenics journey. And if there's anything else you need help with, any other topics you want me to cover, then just comment it down below. But if you're someone that's serious about taking your training to the next level and use a system that actually works, then just DM me the word change on Insta, or you can book a call with me so we can work one-on-one and I can guide you to your calisthenics goals. But again, if you enjoyed the video, just leave a like and I'll see you in the next one.